Hello students, in this video I am going to explain you about the electrochemistry. So generally when we talk about electrochemistry, it is a branch of chemistry that deals with the study of production of electricity from energy released during the spontaneous chemical reaction and the use of electrical energy to bring out non-spontaneous chemical transformation. Okay, so actually what happens, there are energy conversions, like electrical energy is converted to chemical energy and chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. Okay, so this is a study of interconversion of chemical energy into electrical energy and vice versa is called as electrochemistry. Okay, so what is the importance of electrochemistry? It is helpful for the production of metals like Na, Mg, Ca, Al. Okay, so we here in this the help of this we are doing the refining of such metals. Next, another importance is electroplating. Next, purification of metals and batteries and cells used in various instruments. These are the importance of electrochemistry. As we know about conductors, conductors are the substances that allow electric current to pass through them. They are called as conductors. Okay, so metallic conductors or electronic conductors, they are the substances which allow the electric current to pass through them by movement of electrons. By the movement of electrons. Are called metallic conductors. Examples are metals like copper, silver, gold. Okay, but when we talk about electrolytic conductors, they are the electrolytes. Electrolytes are nothing but chemicals, okay, which conducts electricity in the molten state or aqueous solutions, fused state, we can say. Okay, the substances which allow the passage of electricity through their fused state or aqueous solutions and undergo chemical decompositions are called as electrolytic conductors. It may be acid, it may be base, it may be salts. For example, aqueous solution of acids, base, and salts. Okay. So generally, when we talk about the electrolytes, there are two types. Okay, one is a strong electrolyte, other is weak electrolytes. So the electrolytes that completely dissociate into ions, okay, or completely dissociate or ionize into ions are called as strong electrolytes, like a HCl, which is a strong acid, NaOH, which is a strong base, K2SO4. Okay, it is a salt formed from the strong base and a strong acid. Okay, so here what happens in case of a strong electrolyte, degree of dissociation is generally greater than 70%. Next, when we talk about the weak electrolytes, the electrolytes that dissociate partially into ions, okay, are called as weak electrolytes, like acetic acid, CH3COOH, carbonic acid, H2CO3, ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, okay, hydrogen sulfide. So these are the examples of weak electrolytes. Here generally the degree of dissociation is less than 30%. Alpha is the degree of dissociation. So here when we talk about electrochemical cells or electrolytic cells, here some differences are there. You can see in this table, in the electrochemical cells, when we talk about definitions, a device which is used to convert chemical energy into electrical energy. Whereas in electrolytic cells, it is a reverse. Okay, device which is used to carry out non-spontaneous chemical reactions by electrical energy. Assembly, it is a combination of two half cells containing the same or different electrodes in the same or different electrolytes. You can see here, this is one half cell, another half cell. They are connected internally by salt bridge, externally by voltmeter. Okay, but when we talk about electrolytic cells, it is a single cell containing the same electrodes present in the same electrolyte. Here you can see only one cell is there, electrolytic cell is there. Nature of electrodes. Anode is negative here and cathode is positive. Whereas in electrolytic cells, anode is positive and cathode is negative. Just reverse. Movement of electrons, generally from anode to cathode in external circuit. But in electrolytic cells, electrons enter through the cathode and leave by the anode. Spontaneity. Cell reactions is spontaneous. Yes, cell reactions are non-spontaneous. Salt bridge, yes, it is required. But in electrolytic cells, salt bridge is not required. These are the differences between the electrochemical cells and electrolytic cells. Next, when we talk about the other features of electrochemical cells are what? There is no evolution of heat. The solution remains neutral in both the sides. How the salt bridge will maintain the electrical neutrality. We'll discuss this in the coming topics. The reactions, and now the electrons stop after some times. Electrons and movement of electrons. Okay, here one example of Daniell cell is there. You can see here electrochemical cell of zinc and copper metals is known as Daniell cell. It is represented like this. Here you can see here zinc anode is immersed in a half shell containing zinc sulfate. Here copper cathode is immersed in a electrolyte copper sulfate. Internally they are connected by salt bridge. Externally by with the help of a voltmeter. Okay, so you can see generally what happens at anode. At anode, oxidation takes place. So zinc will lose the 2 electrons. Oxidation means loss of electrons. It become what? Zn2 plus aqueous. And at cathode, reduction takes place. So what happens? Cu2 plus ions will gain the 2 electrons and convert into Cu solid. Okay. So when we talk about the overall reaction, so plus 2 electrons, these 2 electrons will get cancelled. So we can write overall zinc solid. This is solid. Okay, Cu2 plus aqueous gives rise to Zn2 plus aqueous plus Cu solid. Okay, when we talk about the cell representation, okay, so generally we are writing first anode, then anode concentration, then cathode concentration and cathode. So you can see here zinc is the anode, then half shell anode concentration, that is Zn2 plus aqueous, and this is for salt bridge. Okay, so Cu2 plus this is for half shell and Cu. So LHS oxidation is happening, RHS reduction is happening. Okay, overall reaction is like this. You can see. So by convention, what is happening? Actually, zinc is losing the electrons, and electrons are moving from anode to cathode. So hence the current will be produced from cathode to anode. Okay, this electrons is gained by this Cu2 plus ion present in the solution. Okay, and it will gain and will deposit here. Copper will deposit here. As the circuit is internally connected by salt bridge. Okay, so the current will be flowing through this device, that is a Daniell cell. And if you measure the voltage, you will get approximately with the help of voltmeter 1.1 volt is the voltage. Next, functions of salt bridge. So you can see here by convention, cathode is represented on the RHS and anode on the LHS. Generally, we are following this convention. Functions of salt bridge. Okay, first function, it completes the circuit and allows the flow of current. First thing. Second, it maintains the electrical neutrality on both sides. Okay, salt bridge generally contains solutions of a strong electrolyte like KNO3, KCl. Okay, so KCl is generally preferred because the transport of a number of K plus and Cl minus ions are almost same. So that is the reason of using KCl. Okay, so the current flowing through the, you can see here, transport number or the transference number. Okay, one important concept is there, you should know. The electron flowing through an electrolyte solution, okay, is carried by the ions. The fraction of the current carried by the ions is called as transport number or the transference number. Thus, we can say that the transport number of cations, okay, Nc is equal to current carried by the cations. That is the total current. And transport number of cations, this is for anion. Okay. Okay. Na is equal to what? Current carried by the anions. That is the total current. Evidently, we can say that transport number of cations and transport number of anions must be equal to 1. Okay. Next concept you should understand is about the electrode potential. Generally, when the electrode is in contact with the solution of the ions in the half shell, okay, it is tendency to lose or gain electrons, which is known as electrode potential. Okay, it is generally expressed in volts, and it's an intensity. It is an intensity property. Okay, so it is a independent of the mass. Okay, it is the independent of the amount of substances or species in the reaction. So we have studied about the intensity property in the thermodynamics in the first POC. Okay, when we talk about the oxidation potential, it is a tendency to lose electrons. Okay, in above cases is the oxidation potential. Oxidation potential of half shell is inversely proportional to the concentration of ions in the solution. Similarly, the tendency to gain electrons is called as what? A reduction potential. Okay, and according to the IPEC conventions, the reduction potentials alone can be called as electrode potential unless it is specifically mentioned. Generally, E reduction, okay, electrode potential reduction potential is equal to what? Negative of oxidation potential. So it is possible to determine the absolute value of electrode potential. For this, a reference electrode like NHE, also called as SHE, is required. The electrode potential is only the difference of potentials between the two electrodes. It is the difference of potentials between the two electrodes. Okay, that we can measure by combining them to give a complete cells. So generally, we are using the reference electrode, that is the standard hydrogen electrode. Okay, SHE. Next, when we talk about the standard electrode potential, the potential difference developed between the metal electrodes and the solution of the ions of a unit molarity, okay, at 1 atm pressure and 25 degrees Celsius is called as standard electrode potential. Generally, it is denoted as E degree. Okay. Next, reference electrode. The electrode of known potential is known as reference electrode. So it may be primary reference electrode like a hydrogen electrode, or secondary reference electrode like a calomel electrode. No, which is not there in syllabus. You have to study in this in higher standard calomel electrodes. Okay. See, standard hydrogen electrode, okay, or SHE, also known as normal hydrogen electrode, NHE. It consists of platinum wire, okay, carrying platinum foil coated with finely divided platinum black. Okay, so you can see here this is a platinum wire, okay, coated with a finely divided platinum black. Okay, and here you can see this is a platinum foil is also there. You can see a platinum foil is there. Okay, and the wire is sealed into a glass tube. This is a glass tube in which this wire is sealed. Okay, and placed in a beaker containing 1 molar HCl. So this is a beaker in which 1 molar HCl is there, and the hydrogen gas at 1 atm is bubbled through the solution at 298 Kelvin. You can see here hydrogen gas is bubbled. Okay, so this cells may act as an anode or it may act as a cathode. Okay, in the electrochemical cells. Okay, and its potential is assumed to be 0. Okay, so generally you have to understand in SHE the surface of platinum at either of the following reactions takes place. Okay, generally when at a cathode, okay, when it acts as a cathode, so H plus ions of the acid will gain the 2 electrons and convert into H2 gas. Okay, that is reduction is happening. This is happening at a cathode. When this SHE is acting as a anode, okay, so oxidations will take place. So H2 gas will lose the 2 electrons and convert into H plus ion. Okay, so electrode potential of SHE has been fixed at 0 at all temperature. This is very, very important. Okay, suppose I want to know the electrode potential of copper. Okay, so we have to adjust connect this copper and copper electrolytes with SHE. Okay, and externally you connect with the voltmeter. Okay, this is the SHG here, and internally they are connected by salt freeze. So voltmeter, suppose will give you the reading of 0.76 volt. So we can know that E degree cell is equal to what? E degree cathode minus E degree anode. Suppose here copper is acting as a anode and SHE is acting as cathode. Okay, so its potential is said to be assumed to be 0. 0 minus E degree of copper 2 plus copper, that is what? 0.76. Okay, so similarly, when you bring to the left hand side, E degree of Cu2 plus to Cu will get minus 0.76 volt. Okay, so in this way we can keep the different electrodes like zinc, mercury, tin. Okay, and we can measure the electrode potential of that electrode. Okay, so what is the main drawbacks of this? It is difficult to maintain 1 atm pressure of H2 gas. It is difficult to maintain H plus ion concentration of 1 molar. Okay, the platinum electrode is easily poisoned by the traces of impurities. Okay, so hence the calomel electrodes are conveniently used as reference electrodes. Okay, so generally it contains mercury in contact with Hg2Cl2, that is calomel, placed in a solution of KCl. Next, we talk about the electromotive cells. It is a difference between the electrode potential of two half cells because and cause the flow of current from electrode at high potential to the electrode at low potential. It is the measure of free energy change also. So E degree cell is generally what? E degree cathode minus E degree anode. Okay, so as generally cathode is on the right hand side, so E degree right minus E degree left. Okay, so there is some differences between EMF and cell potential. So no potential difference between the two electrodes when the no current is flowing in the circuit is called as EMF, whereas the potential difference of the two electrodes, two half cells, okay, when the electric current flows through the cells is called as potential. EMF is the maximum voltage that can be obtained from the cell, whereas it is always less than the maximum voltage. EMF is measured by the potentiometer, whereas the cell potential is measured by voltmeter. So here one series is there called as electrochemical series. It is nothing but arrangement of electrons in the increasing order of their standard reduction potentials. So here no need to remember these values. They already scientists have done the experiments and they have found the reduction potential and oxidation potential of different metals. Okay. So in the questions, it will be given to you oxidation potentials and reduction potential. So applications of electrochemical series: the lower the E degree, greater is the tendency to form cations. Okay, so metal M loses n electrons, become Mn plus ions. So minus n electrons we can write, it becomes on the right hand side plus Ne. So metals placed below the hydrogen in the electrochemical series replaces hydrogen, okay, from dilute acids, but metals above the hydrogen cannot replace the hydrogen from the dilute acid. Okay, like you can see here, calcium. Okay, in the electrochemical series, it is a present below. Okay, so it can replace the hydrogens from what? Calcium sulfate plus hydrogen. Okay, so in aqueous solution, this is the reactions. Next, very important concept here, Nernst equation. Okay, it is the relationship between the concentration of ions and electrode potential. Okay, so for any half shell, actually E degree is nothing but E shell. The formula is there. E is equal to E degree minus 2.303 RT by NF log of 1 by Mn plus ion concentration. This is for half shell. Okay, so EMF of this for this reaction, Mn plus gains n electrons convert into M. So here actually log of K is there. When we talk about K of this reaction, K is nothing but a concentration of product upon concentration of reactant. So M upon Mn plus concentration. Generally, concentration of solid is taken as 1. That's why we are writing 1 upon Mn plus 1. That's why it is there. Okay, R is a gas constant. Its value is a 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. T is the temperature, room temperature. Okay, and N is the number of electrons lost or gain, and F is the Faraday constant. Okay, so for electrochemical reactions, if it is a AABB gives rise to CCDD. So here K becomes what? Concentration of C to the power C into concentration of D to the power D on concentration of A to the power A into concentration of B to the power B. So E cell is equal to what? E degree cell minus 2.303 RT by NF log of C, that K. So you have to substitute here. So what happens? Nernst equations and Kc, there is a relationship actually at equilibrium. E cell is equal to 0. So we will get a E degree cell is equal to, okay, if you substitute the value of R, that is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. And temperature, you consider room temperature 298 Kelvin. And N is the number of electrons that we don't know. Okay, it will be different for the different reactions. But we know the Faraday constant value, that is what? 96500 Coulomb. Okay, after substituting all the values here, so we can write E shell is equal to what? E degree cell minus 0.059 upon N log of K. Okay, so as E shell is 0 for when reaction is in equilibrium, so E degree cell is equal to what? 0.059 by N. It will go to the left hand side, log of K, C. Okay, log of Kc at 298 K. Okay, and there is also one relationship between the delta G and E degree cell. Delta G is nothing but a standard Gibbs free energy. Okay, Gibbs free energy is nothing but the amount of useful energy which is available to do the work. So delta G degree is equal to minus NF E degree cell. N is the number of electrons lost or gained. F is the Faraday constant, and E degree cell is nothing but a standard EMF of the cell. So we have studied about the delta G. For a reaction to be spontaneous, delta G must be negative. Okay, so delta G must be negative. Then reaction is spontaneous. If the delta G is 0, means the reaction is in equilibrium. Okay, and when the delta G is positive, the reaction is non-spontaneous. Very important concepts. Okay, so delta G degree is equal to what? Minus 2.303 RT log of Kc. This is a relationship, okay, between Kc and delta G. That is the standard free energy change and the equilibrium constant. This relation also, they may ask you numerical based on this. Okay. Here we can see, like when we want to write the electrolytic concentration cells, electrodes are the same, but the electrolytic solutions have different concentration. So here you can see zinc is there, then Zn2 plus ion, salt bridge, Zn2 plus ion concentration is a different C2 here slash Zn. So we can write E cell is equal to 2.303 RT by NF log of C2 by C1. Okay, generally is what a log of anode concentration by cathode concentration. Okay, so this is a final equations of Nernst equation. You have to remember is E cell is equal to E degree cell minus 0.059 upon N log of anode concentration or oxidation concentration by cathode concentration. Okay, or also we can write E degree cell. E degree cell is nothing but E degree cathode minus E degree anode. Sometimes they may give you E degree cell direct value, or sometimes they may give you E degree cathode and E degree anode. So E degree cathode minus E degree anode, you have to find out the E cell first. 0.059 upon N log of oxidation concentration by reduction concentration. Okay, so one numericals you can expect from based on this Nernst equation. Okay. Next, we talk about the molar conductivity. Okay, they may ask you questions, 1 marks questions. Explain molar conductivity. What do you mean by equivalent conductivity? So definition you have to remember. The conductivity of all the ions produced when 1 mole of electrolyte is dissolved in V volume of solution is called as molar conductivity. So it is generally represented as lambda m. So formula is there, lambda m is equal to what? Kappa, okay, into 1000 by molarity. Okay, same is the molarity. So when we talk about the unit, so units are what? Ohm inverse centimeter square per mole. Okay, ohm inverse is also called as Siemens centimeter square per mole. So it is related to the specific conductance, where K is what? A specific conductance. Conductance, or also called as conductivity. Next, when we talk about equivalent conductivity, so the conducting power of all the ions produced when 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte is dissolved in milliliter of solution. Okay, so your formula is there, lambda m is equal to K into 1000 by N. Here we have to m is replaced by N. Okay, so N is what? Normality. Units are ohm inverse centimeter square equivalent inverse, or Siemens centimeter square equivalent inverse. Okay, MHO. Ohm inverse is also written as what? MHO, or Siemens centimeter square gram equivalent inverse. Okay. One equation is there that is called as d by Haeckel-Onsager equation. Actually, this equation, sir, this gives a relationship between the molar conductivity lambda m at a particular temperature, or sorry, at a particular concentration, and the molar conductivity lambda m at infinite dilution. Means when you add so much of water. So lambda m is nothing but lambda m is nothing but a molar conductivity at infinite dilution minus A into root over C. So is a constant. It depends upon the nature of solvent and temperature. Okay, so when we talk about the factor affecting conductivity, so nature of electrodes, nature of electrolytes. Okay, for a strong electrolytes, conductivity will be more. For a weak electrolytes, conductivity will be lesser. Okay, because a strong electrolyte completely dissociate into ions, yes or no? And when we talk about weak electrolyte, it partially dissociate into ions, so the conductivity of a strong electrolyte will be more, and conductivity of weak electrolyte will be less. Next concept is concentration of solution. So the concentrated solution of a strong electrolyte have a significant inter-ionic attraction, which reduces the speed of ions and lower the value of lambda m. So if the concentrated solution is there, if the concentration is for a concentrated solution, conductivity is lesser. Okay, for dilute solution, conductivity will more. Okay, you can see the graph. Okay, so lambda m versus root C. Okay, when we talk about the weak acid, it is inversely proportional. The graph is what? It is decreasing, but to more extent. Okay, when we talk about ions like KCl, it will decrease. Okay, but the water here in this case, gradual decrease is there, but here sharp decrease you can see. Okay, in case of weak electrolyte. One very important law is there. Okay, that is Kohl-Ross law. They may ask you, what happens at infinite dilution? The molar conductivity of an electrolyte is the sum of ionic conductivities of the cations and the anions. So Ax By, when we talk about it's electrolyte, so it will Ax By will give you what? X times of A, okay, cations, plus Y times of B minus A cations. So when we talk about the molar conductivity of this electrolyte, it is due to the ions, conductivity of cations and the anions. So we can write that molar conductivity at infinite dilution for any electrolyte X By is equal to what? X times of molar conductivity of due to cations and Y times of molar conductivity due to anions at infinite dilution. Okay. So application is there. It is numericals. They may ask you. See, in the this is used for the determination of equivalent or molar conductivity of weak electrolyte at infinite dilution. For example, if you want the molar conductivity of acetic acid, okay, so molar conductivity of sodium acetate is there. You have to add with the molar conductivity of HCl, and you have to subtract with the molar conductivity of NaCl. So you can clearly see this can break into CH3, CO minus plus Na plus This can break into what? H plus and Cl minus, and this can break in minus is there, minus of Na plus and Cl minus, Na plus and Cl minus. So minus of minus into plus is what? Minus Cl minus. This Cl minus get cancelled. This Na plus will get cancelled. Finally, it is left out with the CH3CO minus and H plus. That is the molar conductivity of CH3COOH, acetic acid. We can find out. Okay. Similarly, for molar conductivity of ammonium hydroxide, we can find out by the addition of molar conductivity of ammonium chloride plus molar conductivity of NaOH minus NaCl. Here also application is there. The determination of degree of dissociation of an electrolyte at a given dilution. One formula is there. Alpha is equal to molar conductance at a concentration C by molar conductance at infinite dilution. So it is also used to get the alpha. Okay, what is Kc? Kc is the dissociation constant of weak electrolyte at concentration C of the solution and can be calculated by using the formula. We have studied this formula in the first PUC. Suppose when we talk about any weak acid like HA, it will give you what? H plus and A minus. Let the initial concentration is C. So at when time is equal to 0 is there. Okay, you have studied this in the equilibrium chapter. When the concentration of weak acid is C, so ions will be 0. When the time is 0, at T is equal to T equilibrium, what happens? Degree of dissociation is alpha. So it will, the final concentration will be what? Here C minus C alpha. Here what is the concentration? C alpha and C alpha. So when we talk about the dissociation constant K, that is the concentration of H plus ion into concentration of A minus ion upon concentration of HA. So substitute the value, that is C alpha into C alpha. Here C alpha, so C alpha upon C minus C alpha. So C minus C alpha we can write, C common means 1 minus alpha we can write. So C into 1 minus alpha. So C get cancelled. So what we can write? C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. So that's why they have written this formula. Kc is equal to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. This is for weak electrolyte, weak acid, weak base. So alpha is the degree of dissociation of a electrolyte. Evenly salts like BaSO4, PbSO4, AgCl, AgBr, AgI, which do not dissolve to large extent in the water are sparingly soluble salts. Okay, and the solubility of sparingly soluble salts can be calculated by the formula. Okay, lambda m naught is equal to K into 1000 by solubility in mole per liter. Okay, solubility in mole per liter is what? K into 1000 by lambda m at infinite dilution. So here this almost 50% of chapter is covered. The next video will discuss the remaining part of the chapter, that is electrolysis and the battery. So when we talk about electrolysis is nothing but the process of decomposition of electrolyte when electric current is passed through either its aqueous solution or molten state. Okay, so the word itself say electro, which belongs to electricity, and lysis means breaking. The process of decomposition with the help of electricity is called as what? Electrolysis. So in electrolytic cells, both oxidation and reduction takes place in the same. Okay, and anode is what? Positively charged, and cathode is negatively charged. In electrolytic cells, during electrolysis of molten electrolyte, cations are liberated at the cathode, whereas anions are at the anode. And when two or more ions compete at the electrodes, what happens? The ions with higher reduction potential gets liberated at the cathode, whereas ions with a lower reduction potential at the anode. Okay, so for example, for metals to be deposited on the cathode during the electrolysis, the voltage required is almost the same as the electrode potential. However, for the liberation of gases, some extra voltage is required than the theoretical values of a standard electrode potential, and this extra voltage thus required is called as over voltage or bubble voltage. So how we can find out the products of electrolysis? Very simple. This is okay. You have to remember this. Okay, we have to understand these concepts. When an aqueous solution of electrolyte is electrolyzed, so cations has the higher reduction potential than the water. Okay, which is having minus 0.83 volt, and cations are liberated at the cathode. Okay, in the electrolysis of copper and silver salts. Otherwise, hydrogen gas is liberated due to the reduction of water. Okay, example in case of electrolysis of K, Na, and Ca salts. Similarly, if anions have higher oxidation potential than water, that is a minus 1.23 volt, so anions are liberated. Okay, example bromine, Br minus ion. Otherwise, O2 gas is liberated due to the oxidation of water. So in case of electrolysis of aqueous solution of Na2SO4, the oxidation potential of SO4 2 minus is water, minus 0.2 volt. So whenever the two ions are there, so only one will be liberated. Okay. One very important concept is there. Okay. See, this discharge potential is defined as, so we define a term here, discharge potential. It is defined as the minimum potential that must be applied across the electrodes to bring about the electrolysis and subsequent discharge of the ions on the electrode is called as discharge potential. Okay, they may ask you one question. Discuss the Faraday's laws of electrolysis. So there are two laws of electrolysis. First is what? The amount of substance deposited or liberated at the cathode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So we can write W is directly proportional to the Q. So as we know that what is current? Charge by time. Okay. So what is Q? Q is equal to I into T. So what we can write? When you remove the proportionality, you have to put a constant, that is a Z into IT. So W is equal to ZIT. Okay. So I is the current, T is the time in second, Q is the quantity of charge, and Z is a constant called as electrochemical equivalent. So when you see here, when the current is a 1 ampere, time is a 1 second. So what is W? W is equal to Z. So we can define electrochemical equivalent is nothing but a electrochemical equivalent is the amount of substance deposited or liberated by passing 1 ampere current for 1 second. Okay. So Z is equal to W when the current is 1 ampere and time is 1 second. Okay, second law, which is also important only. They may ask you numericals based on this. Okay, we'll discuss in the next video numericals. Okay, second law, when the same quantity of electricity is passed through the different electrolytes, the amount of substances deposited or liberated at the electrodes are directly proportional to their equivalent weights. Okay, so mass of A by mass of V, we can write equivalent weight of A by equivalent weight of V. Okay, so W1 by W2 is equal to E1 by E2, we can write. Okay, when you remove the proportionality, Z1. Okay, there is a relationship between the E1 and Z1. E1 by E2 is equal to what? Z1 by Z2. Okay, so as in the first equation, we have studied that W1 is equal to what? Z into Q. The same amount of charge is passed. Okay, and W2 is equal to what? W2 is equal to Z2 into Q. Okay, with the same amount of charge is passed. Here we are getting what? W1 by W2 is equal to what? E2 by E1 by E2. Okay, so when you take this ratio here, W1 by W2 is equal to what? Z1Q by Z2Q is equal to E1 by E2. Okay, so these relations, there may be some questions. So what we can find out here, electrochemical equivalent Z is directly proportional to the equivalent beta. Generally, how we are finding the equivalent beta? It is nothing but atomic mass. Atomic mass by valency. Okay. For example, if you want to know the equivalent weight of magnesium, equivalent weight of magnesium. What is the atomic mass of magnesium? 24 by 2 is the valency. So you'll get 12. Okay. So equivalent weight of any compound is equal to what? Molecular weight by charge. Okay, on cations or anions. Next, battery. Okay. These are the sources of electrical energy which may have one or two more cells connected in series. For a good quality battery, it should be reasonably light, compact, and its voltage should not vary appreciably during its use only. Okay, so there are two types of battery: primary battery and secondary battery. So primary battery is generally once used up cannot be charged. Okay, when we talk about secondary battery, it can be charged again and again. Okay, so see here in the primary batteries, the reactions occurs only once, and after the use over a period of time, battery becomes dead and cannot be reused again. Example, dry cell, like next cell. Okay, this is a battery which we are using in torches. So here how it is anode is what? A zinc container. When we talk about cathode, it is a graphite rod surrounded by MnO2 powder, manganese oxide powder, and electrolyte is the paste of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride. So always you have to remember, at cathode water reaction taking place, reduction takes place at cathode, and at anode oxidation takes place. So they ask you, these reactions are very, very important. So in reduction, what is happening? MnO2 is reacting with the NH4 plus and gaining the 2 electron, converting into what? Mn2O3 and NH3 and H2O. Okay, so here at a anode, what is happening? Zinc is losing the 2 electron, becomes what? Zn2 plus ion. Okay, and the cell potential is generally 1.25 volt to 1.5 volt. So you have to remember what is the anode here. That is a zinc container cathode, graphite rod surrounded by MnO2 powder, electrolyte, paste of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride. Okay. So what happens generally? Cathode reduction takes place, MnO2 plus ammonium ion. Okay, NH4 plus it will gain the 2 electron, become converted into what? Mn2O3, NH3 and H2O. And at cathode, that is the reduction, and at anode oxidation, that is zinc is losing 2 electron, becomes what? Zn2 plus. And we will generate a potential of 1.25 volt to 1.5 volt. Next is about the mercury cell. Okay, here we are using the anode, that is a zinc amalgam. Okay, amalgam is nothing but alloy of mercury. So zinc and mercury will give you what? Zinc amalgam. Cathode is what? Paste of HgO plus C. Electrolyte is what? Moist paste of KOH and ZnO. Okay, so what is happening at cathode? HgO plus H2O will gain the 2 electrons, converted to Hg liquid and 2OH minus. And at anode, that is oxidation is happening. That is Zn and mercury. Okay, that is amalgam, react with 2OH minus ion and give what? ZnO plus H2O, and it is actually losing the electron. Okay, 2 electrons. So when we talk about the net reaction, zinc amalgam, okay, zinc mercury plus HgO will give you what? ZnO plus Hg. So overall reaction is important. Cell potential is approximately 1.35 volt. Okay, secondary batteries. Okay, these cells can be recharged. Okay, and can be used again and again. Example, lead storage battery is there. So in this anode is what? A spongy lead, and cathode is what? A grid of lead packed with PbO2. So electrolyte is what? 38% H2SO4 by mass. So at anode reaction, what you can see here? Lead react with SO4 minus 2 ions. Okay, give you what? Lead sulfate, and lead is actually losing the 2 electrons. Okay, so minus 2 electrons comes here, become plus 2 electrons. And at cathode, reduction taking place. So PbO2 will react with SO4 2 minus plus 4H plus, and it will gain the 2 electrons. It converted to PbSO4 plus 2H2O. So when you add the overall reactions, how it can be? Okay, this 2 electron get cancelled. Okay, and okay, so Pb solid. Okay, this plus PbO2 plus 4H plus. Okay, SO4 2 minus and SO4 2 minus, you can get 2 SO4 2 minus will give you what? PbSO4, and PbSO4 become what? 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O. Okay, so overall reaction is this for lead storage battery. Okay, that is Pb plus PbO2 plus 4H plus 2 SO4 2 minus. Okay, gives you 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O. Next, secondary cell example is what? Nickel cadmium storage cell. So the anode is what? A cadmium. Okay, anode is what? A cadmium. Cathode is what? A metal grid containing NiO2, and electrolyte is what? A KOH solution. So at anode, what is happening? Oxidation takes place. Okay, so cadmium will lose the electron and combine with the 2H minus, and we got cadmium hydroxide. And at cathode, reduction takes place. NiO2 plus 2H2O plus 2 electron will give you what? NiOH twice plus 2OH minus. 2OH minus. So when we talk about net reaction is what? Cadmium plus NiO2. So you can see here plus 2 electron. Okay, and minus 2 electron get cancelled. So cadmium solid plus NiO2, okay, NiO2 plus 2H2O. This, okay, gives rise to what? A cadmium hydroxide, this one, plus nickel hydroxide. And cell potential is what? Approximately 1.4 volt. Okay. In your syllabus, there is a fuel cells also. That is also very easy. Diagrams you can refer the NCERT books. Okay. Galvanic cells which use the energy of combustion of fuels like H2, CH4, CH3OH. Okay, as the source of to produce electrical energy are called as fuel cells. Okay, so the fuel cells are pollution free and have high efficiency. Okay, hydrogen oxygen fuel cells is there in your syllabus. So electrode is what? Made up of porous graphite. Okay, impregnated with a catalyst like a platinum, silver, or metal oxides. Electrolyte is what? Aqueous solution of KOH or NaOH. And oxygen and hydrogens are continuously fed into the cell. So in oxidation half cell, what is happening? H2, okay, will lose the electron, combine with 4H minus, give you what? 4H2O. That is at anode. Okay, and reduction at cathode, that's O2 plus 2H2O plus 4 electron, give you what? 4OH minus ion. So net reaction, what you can see here. Net reaction O2 plus 2H2O. Okay. Sorry, 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to what? 2H2O. This is the overall net reaction. Okay, why? Because you can see here this 4OH minus will get cancel. Okay, and 4H2O and 2H2O subtracted become 2H2O. So 2H2 and O2 is remaining. 2H2 plus O2 is remaining. Okay, gives, and 4 electron will cancel. Will give you what? 2H2O liquid. Okay, hydrogen gas combined with oxygen gas give you water, H2O water. Okay, EMF is what? Around 1 volt. And when we talk about the thermodynamic efficiency of a fuel cells, it is nothing but delta G by delta H. As we know that delta is nothing but a minus NF E degree cell, right? By delta H. Okay, what is corrosion? The slow formation of undesirable compounds such as oxides, sulfides, or carbonates at the surface of metal by reacting with the moisture and other atmospheric gases is called as corrosion. Simply, we can write the process of destruction of metal surface is called as corrosion. So, factor affecting corrosions are there like a reactivity of metals. More reactive metals will get easily corroded. Yes or no? Like magnesium, zinc, iron, copper. Presence of impurities also strains on the metals and the presence of electrolytes. So rusting of iron, an example is there. So rusting of iron is actually electrochemical theory, and how it is a electrochemical cells known as the corrosion cells is developed at the surface of iron. Okay, and what is anode? Pure iron is acting as anode, and impure substance. Okay, impure surface is acting as what? Cathode. And electrolyte is what? CO2, H2O converted into carbonic acid that will decompose into H plus and CO3 minus. So this is acting as what? Electrolyte. So at anode reduction is taking place. Sorry, at anode oxidation is taking place. So iron is losing electron, become into Fe plus ion. Okay, so increase in oxidation state, you can see oxidation. And at cathode reduction is taking place. O2 plus 4H plus 4 electron will give you what? 2H2O. So net reaction of is this rusting. 2Fe plus 4OH, 4H plus O2 gas will give rise to water, 2Fe2 plus 2H2O liquid. Okay, at the surface, what is happening? 4Fe2 plus aqueous will react with O2 gas and 4H2O liquid. It will give you water, Fe2O3 solid plus 8H plus aqueous. Okay, on Fe2O3 solid react with X mole of H2O liquid. It will form what? Hydrated ferric oxide, Fe2O3.XH2O. That is the rust. So this is how this rusting can be explained with the help of electrochemical cells. So rusting of iron can be prevented by the following methods. How? By barrier protection through the coating of paints or electroplating, through the galvanization means or coating of surface with a metal like zinc, by the use of anti-rust solutions like bisphenol, and by cathodic protection in which a metal is protected by corrosion by connecting it to the another metal that is more easily oxidized. Okay, so this is all about electrochemistry.